All right, welcoming you to the end FGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and today we're live from the easternmost part of northeastern. We are in Marindera today, and we will be hosting amazing guests. So be ready for a conversation that will make a difference. Please make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section wherever you're watching this show from, and we will definitely be happy to have this conversation with you. Remember, this is the End FGM Live that comes to you every Monday to Friday here online on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on Twitter. Tag your friends and let them know that the show is live right now, and we will be definitely looping in to make sure that we are having this conversation. Mandera County is where we are at today.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674. Today's End FGM live show has been supported by the global media campaign to end FGM.
All right, welcome to the End FGM Live. This is Jeremiah Kipaino. So happy to have you here today. We are in Mandera County, and we will be talking about issues affecting girls at the time of COVID-19. And today we have two ladies that we'll actually be talking about how it affects them in their work. One represents Maendeleo Wanawake, and another is actually a chairperson of the Maendeleo ya Wanawake, which translates to the development of women, or basically the prosperity of women. So we're just going to add them on this show right now. But before we do then, just remember that you can always leave your comment in the comment section, and we will definitely have this conversation as we are live. As you can see, your comments are also going to stream live on our pages. So be sure to just leave them on our chat boxes, and we will definitely do our best to read them. This is the End FGM Live. Joining us from Mandera County are two amazing ladies who you're going to see in a moment. And we will just be talking about how FGM is affecting them at this time of COVID-19. Before then, just so you know that Mandera County, if you look at Kenya, it is in northern Kenya, northeastern Kenya, actually bordering Somalia as well. And that has been a hotspot where we've had lots of insecurity cases as well. But also we've had lots of cases where we've been talking about girls and child pregnancies as well as early marriages. So we still have a conversation around this, talking about what exactly is happening during COVID-19. So we do welcome you, Waheshimiwa. Karibuni sana to this show. We really do appreciate having you here. Just a short break, and when we get back, we will add our guests. But remember, please leave your comments, leave your questions or comments in the comments section or wherever you're watching from, whether it is on Facebook, on Twitter, as well as on YouTube. This is the End of GM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and this show is produced by Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sofia.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674. Today's End FGM live show has been supported by the global media campaign to end FGM.
All right, welcome once again to the End FGM Live. Now joining us are two guests all the way from Mandera County, and we'll be talking about what the situation is like at this time of COVID-19. And we're just going to go straight talking to them on the screen, as you will be able to see them in a moment. Now you can see them. We are just going straight to Mandera County, which is in northeastern Kenya. COVID-19, where are we at, are some of the questions you're going to be talking about, as well as the FGM situation at this time and the plight of the girl and even the child, not forgetting the boys in these campaigns. We'll also be talking about where we are at in that regard. So we have Honorable Gakii Uba, who is the chairperson for Maendeleo ya Wanawake, as well as Honorable Umulkhair, and please forgive me if I don't say that well, Kasim, who is also a member of the county assembly in that county. So karibu sana, we really do appreciate having you on this show. And I just want to ask, starting off with Honorable Gakii, how is it like right now working with the community, especially women who you represent at Maendeleo ya Wanawake? How is the situation like right now in regards to COVID-19?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon or good evening. I did hear your name though.
My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi.
Okay.
Call me Jeremiah.
Jeremiah,
yes.
Yeah, thank you. As at now, imagine of a situation where there is COVID-19, and not forgetting that we had about 6 or 7 of them in Mandera County.
Yeah.
As at now, I don't think whether there is even anything that we can talk about, because imagine of a situation where you are told this pandemic that is in Mandera County and the entire county is locked down, especially Mandera town today is locked down.
Yeah.
No getting in and getting out.
Yeah.
And then not forgetting that even the border is closed.
Yeah.
Literally, the situation in Mandera County is not pleasing, and it is not what we can literally discuss in a shorter time.
Yeah.
This is because it's a pathetic situation as we speak.
Yeah. And we will just talk about lots of issues, including the situation as it has been in Mandera County. Of course, we've heard of warring communities like the Regodia and the Gare and the Gare clans, which you guys you've had conversations about that, and it's been in all over the media as well. So we'll still have conversations about how that actually affects the girl child when we speak about issues in regards to their security during COVID-19. And now to you, Honorable Umulkhair. I hope I got that well. So how is it like for you at this time? You are a member of the county assembly in that county, and there are lots of disruptions, of course, in regards to public gatherings as well as execution of your tasks as a member of the county assembly. Just let me know, how is your work affected by COVID-19 at this time?
Thank you very much, Jeremiah. Thank you for hosting us here today. I'm humbled that we're talking about the situation of the girl child in this time where COVID-19 is really affecting women, especially the younger girls who are out of school at this time.
Yeah.
We have multiple problems as women.
Yeah.
As women leaders, of course, our biggest challenge is fighting the GBV. Now, coupled up with lockdown, having young girls married off at this time, because they're actually idling in the houses. Yeah, rape cases rising. Mothers who are 90% breadwinners, doing small businesses. Yeah, actually staying in the house. Yeah, doing no business. Yeah, and you understand the small businesses the mothers do. Yeah. From selling tea in the streets to selling nyanyas and all this. Yeah. The commodities that they would get from, as you know, Mandera is at the triangle of
3 countries.
Ethiopia and Somalia. Yeah. That is where they usually get their goods from. Yeah. If there's lockdown, you understand that everything becomes standstill. Yeah. So multiple problems, from economic shutdown to rising cases of GBV. We have men who actually just sit around doing nothing, acting as husbands to these mothers. Yep. When now they're forced to stay in the house with them, then you see GBV rises. Yeah. And we've had cases of femicide in Mandera. Now we've had cases of physical violence, rape cases. Even an hour ago, we've had cases of girls being eloped with young men. These are girls who are actually supposed to be in school at this time. Yeah. So as women, we are between a rock and a hard place. And I'm not speaking as a woman leader now. I'm speaking as an ordinary marginalized woman from a marginalized county.
It's difficult times. Yeah? It's difficult times right now, Mheshimiwa.
It's very hard, coupled with interclan fighting.
Yeah.
FGM, which is also on the rise now because of girls being at home. Usually, FGM is done during the school holidays. Now that there's no holiday, then it's a spree of activities being done on these girls.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate. Early marriages, and you understand when we talk about GBV, all the wrong reasons are in Mandera. From, I told you, femicide to FGM to early marriage. Child mortality rate is very high in Mandera. Maternal mortality rate is very high. All those are the effects of FGM and early marriages. 94%
is the statistic of the dominant community, of course. We know that the Somali community is also occupies quite a huge chunk of that population. 94% statistics, and that says that 9 out of every 10 women actually have undergone the cut, and the girls also are at risk at this time now that they are extended times staying at home. I'm just going to speak to our representative from Maendeleo Wanawake, of course, Honorable Gakii. There are a lot of issues that have already risen from Mandera, speaking about gender-based violence and how girls are basically, it's very difficult for girls to speak out just to defend themselves. Even those who really want to not go through the cut, it's very difficult for them not to go through it because of peer pressure, as well as just the influence of the community in decision making. Maendeleo Wanawake basically empowers these girls, but mostly the women. And I don't know exactly what you are addressing. Is it only the economic part in that regard?
Literally, MMS Maendeleo Wanawake, what we do for women is not only limited to empowering them.
Yeah.
We are also the voice for that woman who is voiceless.
Yeah.
We normally voice their issues. But what is the need of you voicing an issue where might be, however you make noise or however you try to sort out issues that are concerning women,
yeah.
And yet might be you don't have the powers that be at that very time because of might be so many hiccups that cannot be avoided as at that very time.
Yeah.
This including Maendeleo Wanawake doesn't have budget where we can might be fight for the right of a woman, including the GBV, that's gender-based violence, or even the FGM, the cut.
Yeah.
If we don't have the muscles to go, might be fight for their rights, might be taking to court the issue, the GBV, or anything that concerns the human right, which is women's right too. So it becomes a bit very hard, but still, we don't just sit back and listen or just listen to the mothers suffering. We normally talk about it, complain about it, and especially we normally work with the stakeholders, including the chiefs, the sheikhs, the imams at the mosque, and women leaders, including the MCS, and also men leaders, not forgetting, because at the end of the day, they are stakeholders and we need them to give her the helping hand, in which might be we raise the issues that are concerning GBV and the human rights, which is women's right too, to see what we can do for them. But as Maendeleo Wanawake for Mandera County,
yep.
The much might be we can do for them is just to voice their issues.
All right. I'll just ask the same question to Honorable Khair. Again, maybe you can just call you Honorable Kasim.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for just holding on to that.
Yeah.
We see lots of involvement throughout this country of different CSOs, CBOs, NGOs in trying to address the issue of gender-based violence, and that ranges from FGM, child marriage, just wife battering, and all those issues that basically are done to one gender. And we are looking at issues like, for example, FGM, which we specifically talk about in this show, and in that regard, the involvement of the government, where sometimes it is it's a norm in that community. What have you been able to do as a government now that you represent your people as a member of the county assembly in Mandera? What have you been able to do just to make sure that women and girls are safe at this time?
Okay, we've had. As I will speak as a representative representing women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Actually, let me just say the vulnerable group, which men are included.
All right.
When we talk of FGM, to be frank,
yeah,
FGM is the norm there.
All right.
Nothing, it doesn't have the attention it needs. Because we hear of the FGM board and FGM and all this when we are at the national level.
Yeah.
You will never see FGM board coming to visit Mandera. They have never seen.
All right.
Yeah.
That is a place where 99% of FGM is practiced.
All right.
So we lose the whole essence of forming a board or an FGM act. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what is the essence of forming when the counties that are most vulnerable, the young girls who are vulnerable to the cut are not represented?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mandera, as you know, is at the farthest end with 26,000 kilometers square.
Yeah.
The terrain is bad. The roads are bad. Then how do you reach out to that young vulnerable girl who lives in the farthest village? If the FGM board does not have an office in Mandera, then can we talk about FGM?
And that's a very important conversation
FGM
and question.
is practiced widely. I'll just be frank. It's
All right.
practiced widely.
All right.
With no shape. We actually have more awareness on other acts of GBV.
Yeah.
But FGM is just like the norm. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is because the laws and the policies at the national level and the activities that are rolled out here never reach us at the county level.
All right.
All we do is, as leaders, is advocacy and awareness on the harmful effects of FGM.
Yeah.
Like the maternal mortality. Mandera has the highest maternal mortality.
Yeah. Yeah.
In it's even more than what on Somalia.
Yeah.
3,792 per 100,000 live births.
Yeah, I saw that. It's actually there's a report that came out that Mandera actually has the highest in regards to maternal rates globally.
Globally, yes. No, I'm even telling you about the war-torn countries like Sierra Leone and Somalia.
Yeah.
They have lower. Imagine if then we had good data capture, we would even have more. And what are the reasons behind that? It's FGM and early marriages.
Yes.
Yeah? Because the biological system of the girl is not ready. By the time she gives birth, she's already dead.
Yeah.
The child dies, she dies. You know the complications. If she ever survives, she survives with fistula and other infections.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And lives with life-threatening damages. So we are actually speaking about something that is new to our people. Okay?
Yeah.
You will see CSOs and CBOs advocating and against it, against the cut. But it's never felt. You will see health practitioners practicing FGM on girls because they do it. It's not only the traditional persons who do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in Kenya we have good laws. It's never enacted. We have, if you say GBV, we have the Ndungu Jokin Ndungu's law. That's the what is it called? Social Offences Act.
And I know that Mheshimiwa, when you talk about let me cut you short on that because there are lots of issues. But looking at where we are at right now, of course, Mandera has a very high percentage, and actually the mortality rate is actually very high, as you have rightly said.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the issues, and I think this is the right forum we can actually have a conversation about this, is you've talked about national government laws. Of course, it's an act that was passed in Parliament. That's the national Parliament, and not devolved to the counties. And you've talked about issues regarding the help that you are getting, that there is a board that has been established and its role is exactly to end FGM and nothing else.
Yeah.
Do you feel left out?
Of course. Can we say that with the president's decree to end FGM by 2022. Do you think it's something that we can actually achieve?
Good question.
Like Jeremy, if I can add on what you're saying, imagine of that board that was formed and we don't have literally none representing or sitting in that board. Do you think that lady who is in Mandera County, as far as might be in Malkamari, can be helped? It's a no. And then, in as much as we have acts that were put in place, the Ndungu Act, the GB Kilimos Act, those things are on papers and it is never implemented. And even if it is implemented, I think my people don't understand. Most people in Mandera County, especially women, are illiterate or semi-illiterate for that matter. Who is going to give them that message that there's an act called like that, or it's an act that acts on behalf of the women, and that if the women does this and that, she will be in kind of problem or shit? Nobody, because even the language that was written in is in English. It needs translation. Who does that for them? When you talked about the CBOs and the NGOs that might be working, I want to tell you this for free, that those are briefcase NGOs and CBOs that take money but do nothing. 3 women are called, the same lot of women are called for a cup of tea or a seminar, they call it. They are given the same message, the same thing every now and then, and the message does not reach home. If you are calling women, for example, in Mandera town, and then you're calling, for example, for Maendeleo work, and then we were called, or we are never involved in these kind of issues. Then the women who are called are those ones who are close in town. Nobody, might be, for example, Takaba or Mandera South or Mandera East, who is involved in these kind of workshops that will give a message so that they go deliver the message to the grassroots women. Does not exist. And at the end of the day, which message are they passing? Because the seminars and the workshops that are done in English or in Kiswahili, most of these women doesn't understand Kiswahili or English.
But where are the natives?
What message are you giving them?
Where are the natives in regards to just passing the message to people who can speak from the same language?
Those are literally the CBOs and the NGOs that you're talking about, and that's why I say that just briefcase NGOs.
All right.
The only thing that I had ever found out that works very well are the CSOs, the civil society. These are the guys who at least tried their best. Where they normally highlight issues concerning FGM or GBV, or even kids being trafficked to go and to be recruited in terrorism. These guys literally try their best to translate these words into the language that the natives understand. But with the CBOs and the NGOs, I'm sorry to say, but I've never seen any of them. You will always talk about people saying we have the highest number in Mandera County about the mortality rate. What has it been done? Literally nothing. And then you will hear people saying the FGM is rampant in Mandera County. Yes, but what have they done? Nothing. So literally, every other time you kept on asking the same question with no solution, or literally little solution. So what, at the end of the day, what happens? I go tell a grandmother who does an FGM, and that is her income generating activities. That's where she gets money. As at now, the pandemic that is rampant in our county, that is the COVID-19, the borders are closed. What do you expect the mothers to get money from? Literally, they go do that. The schools are closed. The kids are at home. So what do? FGM, because it is an income generating activities for them. Even if you keep on telling them that this is not right, don't do it, it's kind of, you're just singing music to their ears that they don't want to understand. Literally, because that is where they get their income generating activities, because they don't have any other alternative. So what am I saying? FGM or GBV that is rampant in Mandera County, it's on papers. It is through forums that people talk about it with little solution.
All right, thank you very much. And you had talked about a very high percentage of women actually being the people who actually feed the family in the long run.
Exactly. The women in Mandera County are the breadwinners. It is women who need literally everything. Yeah. They carry all the burden of home. They are the caregivers. They are the breadwinners. They're the people who go look for food to put food on the table of their kids. Literally, she carries the burden that even in my religion, she was not supposed to carry that burden. But because of the situation that is so uncircumstances, that she cannot afford and leave her kids not eating, she does literally everything. And now, where do they used to get things from? From Somalia, or even selling, as Muhishimiwa said, selling tea or nyanya on the street. Those things are never there anymore. So what happens? the mother just sits back home, literally doing nothing.
Mheshimiwa Mulkhair, to you, the county government has a responsibility, of course, of creating policies that will enable not just the government in itself, but also CSOs to be able to coordinate with that network. So if there is a policy, the government can actually have an impact by saying or just stipulating how actually activities can be run in that county and coordinating activities, because we know that there have been organizations in that area, and talking about 94%, basically, that's a very high percentage. And when you speak about how many years we've been talking about female genital mutilation, it seems like this is actually not going down as we look at it. So just asking you, Mheshimiwa, are there any things that you've done just to make sure that FGM gets a county-specific policy that we are able to say, okay, there are resources that are located here that we can actually make use of due to and properly disbursed with the availability of this policy?
Before I go to the policies and other interventions that we have done, I just want to be clear that we have, according to, I'm speaking on behalf of women. As I said, I'm not speaking as a leader now.
All right.
We are placed between a rock and a hard place as women.
All right.
We have other pressing issues that are affecting us.
What are they?
From insecurity to radicalization to extrajudicial killings to lack of access to healthcare. Okay, illiteracy level that is very high, poverty. Those are issues that are actually more pressing than FGM.
All right.
GBV, if we speak of GBV and other underlying factors that now bring about these problems, yeah, like the maternal mortality rate, if we handle GBV generally, GBV is wide. I'm sure you guys should not even concentrate on FGM alone.
Yeah.
FGM is part of, it's just one part of GBV.
Yeah.
The bigger problems women and men face is wider than FGM. FGM just becomes a luxury to us.
And talking about that, we know that it's we always talk about FGM, child marriage, and in many communities they actually say we are doing this because of things like poverty. Is there what are the root reasons there?
That's why I'm telling you we have bigger problems that are affecting us. Yeah, poverty, social acceptance, okay, because of the stigma around a girl that is not circumcised, okay, because anybody, her peers will know, the other parents would know. So why are you doing this? If the woman is empowered in all other forms,
yeah,
then she does not care whether her daughter is circumcised or not, okay? Then she has the ability to even walk out of a man who is trying to frustrate her in terms of making her, maybe forcing her to circumcise her and to cut her girl, or any other GBV that is inflicted on the family.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
The policies and the interventions we've made and the bills we've passed are on the women revolving funds. Okay. Then the county model for laws that were actually drafted by Gakii. I think that is to all the counties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have passed several motions on empowering the girl, because we believe there's no way we can talk about FGM before empowering the woman. Okay, so these cuts are done, but then what are the post-traumatic effects on her? Okay, so we've proposed the establishment, and we hope that it's going to be in the budget for this year. It's already there, but on the establishment of a one-stop center. Actually, it's a shelter for girls.
All right, run by the government.
On any form of GBV, maternal mortality, or any other issues that is affecting women, girls, and vulnerable generally, even the youth.
All right. And I'm just going to go to Honorable.
Well, the biggest problem we have are the post-traumatic effects.
Yeah.
Those are things we don't talk about as a community.
Yeah.
Those are issues that affect the girl we live with. Once she's married, painful sexual intercourse, coupled with pregnancy, childbirth that becomes complicated, then fistula that comes after that. Then that person, by the time she gives birth, she's already gone through hell, because you understand what fistula means.
Yeah.
If she goes through fistula, then what happens? The stigma around it, being deserted by the husband, by her own family members. Okay, so the cat is going to be with us, whether we like it or not. It's going to take us time to end it. What we need to talk about is how do we then mitigate these problems, okay?
Yeah.
Then can we talk about pre-cut? Pre-cut, when I say pre-cut, is advocacy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Empowering. Okay? Once a woman is empowered, then she has the ability to decide her fate and her life and the life of her children. Okay? Then we see in-laws and other family members, extended family members interfering on the affairs of a woman. Okay? Because she cannot make informed decisions because she's not empowered. Then, can we talk about the post-cut? Okay?
All right, and that's advocacy.
Then, post-traumatic effect.
Yeah.
Then do we have counseling? Do we do these things for them? Okay?
Yeah.
Then if a girl has run away from early marriage or from the cut, then how do we help? Because our cuts usually, as Somalis,
Type 3.
I would speak for any Somali around, not even Mandera County alone,
Yeah.
happens between the ages of 7 to 11, 12.
Yeah.
At that time, the girl's mind, she's not even a teenager yet, she's still a child. She cannot run away from her home. She cannot go and look for help. She cannot go and confide in anybody else because she's a child. She doesn't know. All she knows is her family members.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
If the cut was done between the ages of 13 to 18, then we would have many girls running away from home.
Yeah.
But we have scenarios where girls run away from home due to early marriages.
Yeah.
Because now they're a bit older. Okay?
Yeah.
But the cut happens to a child who is helpless. Okay? Then when I'm saying empowering that family, I mean the mother. I am sure no woman, if empowered, would be willing to let her daughter go through what the effects of FGM are.
Wow. Okay, I'll cut you short.
That's why we have the revolving fund.
Thanks a lot, and we just appreciate having that highlight as well as what you've been able to do as in the county assembly level. And we know that it's a county that really has had lots of issues in regards to security, and this has also affected the girls a lot. You've talked about boys actually being recruited into terrorism activities because of one reason or another, which maybe we'll delve more into, because sometimes you talk about FGM and really forget to talk about the root causes of why people do things, or probably even if it's terrorism, why do people actually go for it in the long run. I think just take a short break, but when you come back, we will keep on having this conversation. And this time, we'll just go straight to talking about the welfare of the girls, including things like sanitary towels during these times of COVID-19, when the girls are actually not at school, and probably people who are supplying or helping the girls in that time, or maybe at that time, are actually not able to do at this time. Short break, we'll come back.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674. Today's End FGM live show has been supported by the global media campaign to end FGM.
All right, we are back. This is the End FGM Live. Thank you very much for holding on. Today we are in Mandera County. As you know, it's in the northeastern part, as we say, in the triangle, the northern triangle, bordering Somalia as well as Ethiopia. And when you look at the situation as it is right now, lots of issues coming up, looking at issues in regards to girls being at home, little monitoring, but still speaking about what the community thinks about what the right of the girl is and what is the essence of a girl in their community. Is it bright? Does it look like it's there is a future for these girls where they could be leaders or just be able to make an impact in their communities at large in the coming days? So today we are honored to have two amazing ladies in this show. We have Honorable Gakii Uba as well as Honorable Umulkhair Kasim, and we are just talking about the plight of the girl in Mandera County at this time. Very briefly, and I'll just go to Honorable Gakii on this. Sanitary towels as well as just monitoring where the girls are at. You work with women. Where are we at in that regard? Is there any follow-up knowing that the girls are home now and you're muted? Please unmute. We cannot hear you, Mheshimiwa. Please unmute. Now, please unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now loud and clear. All right.
Great. So literally what I'm saying is, as at now, I don't think whether they have any other help. But before, when they were in school, there was sanitary towel that was distributed by UNICEF through Ministry of Education and also county educational directors. There were also some NGOs who give, but as at now at home, I don't think whether they can access to any sanitary towel because it is hard. These ladies come from a very poor family. The mother being the breadwinner, and now she's at home doing literally nothing. Yeah. She can't even afford to buy for the daughter a sanitary towel. So what happens? It's just a situation where you cannot imagine or even talking about it. It's just very hard because they can't access to any sanitary towel. Yeah. When they were in school, they have that opportunity of getting sanitary towels either from UNICEF or county government that sometimes chips in to give sanitary towels. But as at now, I don't think whether they can access to one.
All right. We just having someone requesting actually to join this call. His name is Nur Ahmed. He's the head of Mandera County Human Rights Network, and we just talk about those issues in regards to why is there FGM still in Mandera. But thank you very much for that. Just going to Mheshimiwa Umulkhair. We still look at this from a county's perspective. We still have lots of people saying that the government is literally doing nothing to make sure that the girls actually have these resources at home at this time. But is it really possible, looking at how vast Mandera is and how pastoralists also function at these times?
I am not in the executive arm of the county government.
All right, but you are also in the county assembly.
I'm a legislator. No, I'm coming to it. I'm a legislator.
Yeah.
And oversight activities of the executive.
All right.
And it is unfortunate that women affairs from the national level to the county level is never taken seriously. Okay? It is not something that needs sugarcoating. You know it, I know it, it's all over the country. If you see any commission that is led by women, let's say even the Ngek, now there is a proposal that that was tabled in Parliament to merge Ngek and Kenya National Human Rights Commission. Those are the gains women had, okay?
Yep.
That women achieved, and now it's been derailed and being merged with KNHCR.
Yeah.
KNHCR itself, it's on its deathbed now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We've seen activities around women being derailed. We've seen the 2/3 gender rule, okay?
Yeah.
Flopping every time. And we've seen how the government has been acting the last 1 month, whenever it is to the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating in terms of helping the vulnerable group in general.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's no political goodwill at all, to say the least, because women are not included in decision making. Okay? The much we do is provide provision for the supply of sanitary towels to schools. Okay, it is done, but it's not done to satisfy the needs that women have.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
When it comes to allocation of resources to women, in terms of even IGS and all that, it is never enough. Okay? So it is a fight that we will continue with forever. I am happy today that because we're discussing FGM, I think you only tried to look for women. I'm sorry to say I'm attacking you now as a man.
All right, yeah.
From the activities we've been seeing, the virtual meetings happening, most of these meetings are held by men.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a sorry situation. It is a very sad state. Okay? We have very good men who support women agenda, even at the national level and the county level. But it is never an issue for a man to support, and it's unfortunate because these are your daughters, your girls, your wives, okay? Your mothers, your sisters.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's no, we only depend on divine intervention as women.
Yeah.
That is all I can say.
All right. So we just going to go to a short break.
Jeremy.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Jeremy, if I can chip in.
Yeah,
Jeremy, if I can chip in.
All right. I just wanted to take a short break, and then we are actually a gentleman who is going to join us in this conversation, and then we get back to you, Honorable Gedi. And just to our listeners and people who are viewing this conversation, you are able to comment. You are also able to just have this conversation in regards to ending FGM in this county in Mandera. That's where we are today. We're just going to be adding a gentleman in a few. So just a short break, and when we come back, we look forward to having a gentleman who represents activists in Mandera County.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674. Today's End FGM live show has been supported by the global media campaign to end FGM.
All right, we are back once again. Sorry for that. We were adding a gentleman to the call because it's nice to have a conversation from both angles. So this is the NFGM Live, just in case you're joining us right now. And we are live on Facebook, on Twitter, as well as on YouTube, all the way from Mandera County. And we're just talking about the plight of the girl during this time of COVID-19. With us are two ladies and one gentleman. The gentleman just joined us right now, and we'll just go on to introduce him, and then go on with this conversation. Remember that you can always leave your comments on the comment boxes, and we'll try our best to actually read them here live on this show. So karibu sana Bwana Nur, you've not been able to introduce, so just a quick one. Who are you and who do you present? Karibu.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Noor Ahmed. I am the chairman of Mandera County Human Rights Network, and a paralegal and a budget facilitator and a gender and specialist doing TOT on gender trainings.
All right.
And the secretary of Mandera County Gender Technical Committee.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. We've been talking about female genital mutilation, but also wide aspects on what exactly is the root cause for this and what the situation is like for COVID-19 as we speak right now. I know that you represent the Mandera County Human Rights Network. You're a paralegal, a sexual and gender-based TOT, and the secretary for Mandera County Gender Technical Working Committee. How has your work been affected generally in regards to just being able to run your activities, as well as make sure that we are holding people accountable?
We have a lot of challenges.
All right.
We have a lot of challenges on this COVID-19 because it has disrupted our work. It's concerned on advocacy, and advocacy is about mobilization. We cannot mobilize people. The COVID-19 has affected the mobilization routes. We cannot visit the offices to attend or maybe protest on human rights violations.
Yeah.
Example, like today we had a case whereby a lady has been eloped for 6 months.
Yeah.
We got her on 6, and when we were following, we could not get to access to the office because most of the offices are not operational.
All right.
They are almost skeleton operation.
All right.
And the most people who bear the brunt are women and girls.
All right.
And there is nobody. In fact, Mandera is the only county. It's the only county with only one court that is serving 28,000 square kilometers.
All right.
Which is almost 800, 900 kilometers from where we are sitting. That is the county headquarters. And gender-based violence happens in all the corners of this county, including, in fact, the subject of discussion was supposed to be about FGM.
All right.
And if we talk about FGM, it is just like a normal in our lifestyle because there is no mobilization. In other counties, we have administrators being involved in this, and then there is the National FGM Board.
All right.
I don't understand why the FGM board is not coming to our county, which has got more than 90% FGM practice in this county. While it's going around Laikibia, Kajiado, Nairobi, where there's almost FGM, and that is 20%.
All right.
Why is this board not even visiting us even once?
All right, and I think it's the role of activists like you who can actually voice out and say there is a problem here. We are 94%. Please, I know that there are different people mobilizing from different counties and just making sure that their voice is heard. So I think in that regard, it is a challenge, and you've talked about that already, that you feel marginalized.
We wrote several times. We wrote several times to the commission and the board.
All right.
The National Gender Equality Commission and the board itself, demanding that they should start with the counties with the highest number of FGM practice in this country, not with the counties with less than 20%. Most of these working options are going around comfort zones. That is around Nairobi, Mombasa. They don't want to go to the grassroots. And where the reality is at the grassroots. The biggest problem is at the grassroots. And they need to devolve these things. It has to come to the counties. And like the Department of Gender Department, international government, is almost doing nothing in this county. If you go to they will tell you it's the county commissioner who is representing the gender department in the national government. But he's doing nothing. His chiefs are doing nothing. we have got more than 10 cases per month of defilement, rape, FGM, and all these cases, domestic abuses, and they don't do anything. In fact, in the last government of Kibaki, we had a register for where the chiefs were recording all these incidents in their locations. But today, there is nothing. Everybody just speaks, the president says, and FGM has to end by 2022, then it is not practical. It is never practical with us because it has not even reached us. We are still practicing more than 90%. Whom are you going to tell this? It's just like the corruption we were talking about. There is all the institutions to fight. There is the DBP, there is the anti-corruption, there is the DCI. I don't even know whether these things works at the county. All these cases only works at the national level. Why is the DCI only working in the national level? Why not at the county level, and it is not addressing corruption in our areas? It's the same thing, the county commissioner and his officers, that's the chiefs, the DOs. There are a lot of gender cases, the highest gender cases. In fact, we have got only the cases which is reported to us. But we know there are more than 100% more than that is outside, that is unreported. And there is the need, because most of these projects is being funded by donor community. And these donor communities avoid coming to this region because of the insecurity. And most of our funding is determined by donors or international community, which does not, it passes through the government and the statecraft which is involved, and they're scared because like now, in our budget, in our current estimate budget, look at what we have. It is not agenda responsive. Look at the budget we have.
What budget do you have? What budget do you have? Because now we have a member of county assembly from your county who can actually confirm that.
At the county level.
All right.
We are supposed to have our estimates of 2020, 2021. But right. What is the percentage of gender projects in that budget? So there is a very poor political goodwill from the government. I am very sure if the government is serious, it will have bought the money. Go and see what is happening at the national level today when the presentation was made. The highest, almost the second highest, is the national security. When the person's welfare is not developed, what security are you providing? The person is very hungry. Why do you look at the security and the welfare of the person is hungry and cannot provide one meal on his table?
I'll cut you short there, Ahmed. Thank you very much for that. And I'll just go straight to Honorable Umulkhair. And you are seated in the county assembly. Of course, he's talked about the need for development of these issues. And when you're talking about these issues, you're just talking about gender issues in general in this case. And I do not know if what he has said is something that you would confirm.
Yes, I think it's good to see you. Noor is doing a very good job. These are the kind of people we need everywhere in this country who selflessly, without any pay, work for the community, or if I may say, the vulnerable groups. It's good to see you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's what we were speaking about before Noor came in. Why is gender issues underfunded from national government to the county government? It's the lack of political goodwill. As MCAs, what we do is advocate for the allocation of funds for activities for this target group. But the kind of money that is allocated is never enough even for advocacy, leave alone activities. The money that is allocated for revolving fund is never enough. Okay? So we give priority to other things. It's not something that is unique to our county alone. It is something that as women, wherever we are, fight for and fight every time. Okay? So what is needed is perception change from the top leadership, from the government, from the president to the lowest level. You've heard, and we even said it, you've heard it from Noor about the president's decree on the end of FGM, on ending of FGM by 2022. If a county like Mandera has never even received any delegation, even from the board, or even opened an office in Mandera, if it is us as leaders or as women who feel the pain, advocates for it, then how do we end such? There's a lot of lip service around. Let's just be frank. You know it, we all know it. I'm sure you've worked with different counties, and this is the same thing that is being mentioned. Okay, there's always misappropriation and mismanagement of money and resources, and money not going to the right place and to the right people. Then how do we end if it's not well funded? The chair lady for Maendeleo, when she first started, stated that it's lack of resources. With the kind of terrain we have, then how do we transverse the county to go to every corner to make sure that the woman in the farthest village hears about the implications of FGM. It is very difficult,
Yeah.
It's something that is not sensible, that is not logical. The security apparatus, the security providers, the duty bearers do not care about GBP in general.
But I think
Noor would be my witness that even they have not rolled out the SOPs, standard operating procedures, on GBP that was launched in 2016 is yet to reach the police cells. Okay, we do not even have a gender responsive desk there where a woman mans, because there are communities that is conservative, that does not talk about these things in public. Then when you go and share a desk with any other person, or you go to a mail, would that woman be able to say her problems?
But let me just ask this question.
And these are things that we are repeatedly told is a national government function.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The technical working group that Noor is telling you about, that is the secretary, I am a co-chair of that technical working group.
Yeah.
It is only the people who have the will to come and sit there that come to sit. We have the county commissioner who is supposed to be a member, the OCS who is supposed to be a member. At least the good part is the prosecutor works very well with us. All right. Okay?
Yeah.
We do not have the goodwill from the county commissioner, then how will the chiefs and all these ensure that these practices end or they report these cases? There's no goodwill. There's no goodwill when it comes to any issues to do with vulnerable groups.
All right. I just know this question, and I just request you to answer it in a sentence or two. To me, the way you're expressing it is like, of course, you are in the county assembly, but you feel like your hands are tied. What are the challenges, basically? Like one or two challenges that are actually making it difficult for an MCA that is supposed to represent the women going through in Mandera County? You say that the county commission is under the office of the president, who promised us to end FGM by 2022, and you say still you don't have the political goodwill. What's happening?
Noor would be.
Let me
explain to you because he's the secretary.
Let me just chip in, Jeremy.
Writes to them every time.
Let me help the madam.
Jeremy, let me just chip in, please.
All right.
Thank you very much, Noor. Noor, thank you very much. Most welcome. I know what you do is not just to say thank you is not enough, because you supplemented literally everything that is supposed to be done, the women leaders, and you do it for us. Thank you very much. And so, Jeremy, to chip in what you said, at the political goodwill, do we even have women who represent us from the elective part of it? The ladies who were seated at the MCA are all nominated. Out of 30 elected MCAs, we have 0. Out of 7 MPs elected, we have 0. So do you think they will even listen to that issues that concerns women? They don't. So where Mheshimiwa almost sits, as she is the MCA, she sits as a nominate. So might be sometimes even her votes doesn't count. She can be talking and talk of what now? Because sometimes they even told you are not even elected. You are talking on behalf of who? So what happens at the end of the day? Their hands are tied. Even if they keep on talking and talking, it becomes you talk nothing. There are policies that are put in place. There are acts that are put in place. Do we literally implement any of it? None. Do we even have that gender desk at the government facilities? We have 0. So literally what happens at the end of the day? It frustrates you. the leaders from Mandera County, especially the women and those ones who help women like Noor, ask him the frustration that he has gone through is just so impossible that even if it were not his strength, if it were not his hard work, I am telling you, we could have not reached where he has reached today. Some of us just gave up, just simply because you ghost. Say it becomes a story that I always tell, a story that I tell the boss people, the political class, even the leaders that are supposed to be taking up this task. They are not ready to take it. What happens? At the end of the day, you just pull it out, just because you're exhausted.
Wow. Now I understand.
Let me help Madam Uba on the same on Madam Umu.
All right, go on. All right.
They did good. They did good. The Committee on Gender did good. They included the activities in our budget in the last 7 years. But believe me, this has been removed by the governor after it went for ascending. It has been returned back to it, removing the part of the gender. The funds for gender has been reduced to only operational costs. If you look at our budgets in the last 7 years, they have tried their best to include activities on gender-based issues.
All right.
But believe me, it has been removed and reversed, and then it was not assented, and it was returned to reduce the budget of the. So they did their best. But what happens is, as Madam Uba was saying, and if the highest officers do not have the good political will for these projects, then there is nothing. That means it is just construction of buildings and walls, then taking care of the welfare of a mother in a delivery services out of this county headquarters, which is maybe 300 kilometers or 400 kilometers.
I think it's just fair to say, Jeremy, that this is not something that is unique to Mandera County alone. Okay? Noor has told you about it. I am the chair lady for Gender and Social Services in the County Assembly of Mandera.
All right.
He knows how closely we work together in terms of putting gender-responsive budgeting activities for the vulnerable group. Okay.
Yeah.
Implementation is another issue. Okay. Implementation is another issue. However little it is, we fight to have it included. Then, when you are dealing with a large group, okay, then it's just going to be a drop in the ocean, okay? But the bottom line is, what we're discussing is FGM here, okay? The effects of FGM is what our people are facing today.
All right.
Okay, that is maternal mortality, fistula, rejection by family members, the stigma around it. Then how best can we address that is what we should be discussing now.
And looking at that right now, we still cannot talk about FGM without looking at the factors that surround where we come from in that regard. Because the truth is, we have counties. I come from Kajiado myself, and Kajiado passed a policy. But how is that helping that county? I always ask those questions. We have the national policy. We have an act that actually protects the girl and the child in general from all forms of abuse. Like, abuse is abuse. But we still have more and more policies coming up. I always try as much as possible to avoid lots of political, mentioning lots of politics. But the truth is, the people who are on the ground have the ability to make these choices, and they are able to make the impact that we are actually able to save these girls. We are able to have a better future if they are given a chance to be. And I just want to ask this question as we bring this to a close. And I know, Honorable JD, I don't know if you're still eyeing, but I know you've been eyeing the women rep seat for some time. If I am wrong, please correct me. But I'll just shoot this question to you, asking you, why is it so difficult then for the political leaders who actually are able to influence budgeting, are able to influence community solutions in regards to just perception, tell them that, okay, this is not good, and we actually need to change because it's retrogressive, it's against the law as well. Why are the political leaders not taking it as a responsibility of their own?
Literally, sometimes I say it might be they just want to ignore. I mean, they seems to be seeing women issues are never important, or they see that women issues are never human rights. So what they might be believe is if they have that perceptions of the culture that undermines or demeans what women is all about. Even those ones who are educated, few like Noor can understand the importance of being a woman. But there are those ones who demean us to the extent that they say, what is that women need? Because so long as you're married, then you don't need anything. And that is what is happening exactly even at the budget making. Literally what they thought was, woman doesn't need anything. And then to make the matters worse, even those ones who are well educated, do we even have those positions that we can be making decisions on that table? Do we have any representatives on the decision making table? We have none. And even if we have, maybe we have a weaker ones. Those ones who can be manipulated. Those ones who can be intimidated. Those ones who can be harassed so that they can back off. So literally, not only intimidations, but you see, sometimes what happens is, so long as you don't have a representative at the decision-making table, then even outside, even if you shout, like the civil society, like if you voice, I think the voices that you voice in Mandera County, very few listen. Very few people listen to this, literally because they ignore. That might be, they believe women don't have any problem or women doesn't have any issue. The Constitution of Kenya is very clear that women's right is human's right. And that we are supposed to be getting what men are supposed to be given. But to my surprise is, we are not in that position of might be getting anything. We have very active leaders, women leaders. We have well-educated ladies from Mandera County, but are they seen? Not because they don't want to come out and come out and voice. It's because they have a lot of challenges that hinders them to reach that table. One thing that makes them not even reach that table in politics.
Sorry, we have some echo. All right, go on.
I'm saying like when it comes to politics, in Mandera County, we have negotiated democracy.
All right, I'm sorry. We have a small challenge. We just want to bring this across, but I just take a short break to fix the echo, and then when we come back, we'll just bring this to a close.
Today's End FGM live show has been supported by the global media campaign to end FGM. Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we're back. This is the End FGM live show, and we are with Waishimiwa, two of them, and also a human rights defender. So we're just going to still go towards, still talking about the issues that we are facing in Mandera County. A very fruitful conversation. This is getting late into the night, so we're also trying to wrap up with this. But before them, just quickly introduce to you who we have on the show today. We have Honorable Gedi Uba, who is the chairperson of Maendeleo ya Wanawake, as well as Honorable Humukais Kasim, who is a member of the County Assembly, as well as Mr. Ahmed Noor. Thank you very much for joining us today. We really do appreciate having you on this show. Mr. Noor is an activist and basically speaks about the rights of like human rights in that regard, especially in that county. So karibu sana to this show. So we cut you short in the short break when we had a problem with echo. Go on, Mheshimiwa Gedi.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. What I was trying to say was in Mandera County, as I said, we have leaders who are elected, and we have none as women except the women rep. And then our problems is that we had negotiated democracy where people were done on selections on clan basis.
All right.
Literally, when they did that, none of the ladies were included, not one.
All right.
This includes from the MCA position to even the bigger position. Doesn't mean that we don't have women who are educated to be fitting in that position. We have brilliant women, leaders who come from another county that you never imagine.
Yeah.
But they were never given a chance to just air out their views. If only we could be having 2 or even 3 elected MCAs today in the county assembly, I think things could have been quite different. And I think even in the budget making, they could have at least done better than they did now. Though they have tried their best, but their votes did not count. This is because the political class do not have the goodwill of wanting to know about the gender issue at all.
I would like to bring this to a close by asking one question, and I'll just ask everyone this question. There's one thing that is lacking, and I would like us to talk about it. We've talked about political goodwill, but if all the resources are available to you, all the political goodwill that you need, everything, basically, what would that one thing you do that you think would actually impact the lives of women and girls in this county? If you had all the goodwill, all the resources, what's that one thing that you would say you would do? Basically, now, if you had all the will, the situation is the same, but you had all the goodwill right now. What's that one thing that you think would make a difference?
I think to just empower women from the position they are in today to a better position. That means we empower women to a better position from the position they are in today.
All right. Thank you very much. And to you, Mheshimiwa, what's that one thing?
I would involve women in decision making, and make sure that the women in every sector of decision making. There are voices that need to be counted. We are tired of being decided for and served the food when it's ready.
You're tired of being decided for and served food when it is ready.
When it's ready. Yeah. So once we make our own decisions and feel that we are included, then that is when the effects will be felt.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And to you, Ahmed, what's that one thing that you think would make an impact if you had all the resources available to you and all the political goodwill as you had spoken about? What's that one thing that you think would make an impact if you had access to everything?
I think I would have mobilized all the women to vote for themselves because they are just voters in the county and in the country, so that they can make better decisions. Because the women make better quality leadership than the men in this country.
Amazing. Short and to the point. I'll just read a few comments that are coming in. As you can see them on the screen. I see Sharif Nasir. Nasir says, girls who are subjected to FGM have no bright future. Their health is at risk. They cannot give birth well. We want the government of the Mandera County to put an outstanding effort to end this. Sonyanga says, a very interactive show today. And more keep on coming from different channels. Really appreciate having you on this show today. I know people really following this conversation now and even after, because it's going to be available online. I would ask one question. We have these opportunities of influence, opportunities where we could actually reach out to people. We can mobilize from where we sit right now. One question that people ask is, why are we not doing this? We have talked about these challenges all throughout this show. And one thing that I'd say is we keep on forging on. We all have a responsibility, is my personal motto. And I think taking up that would actually really be helpful in the long run. A parting shot for everyone as we bring this to a close. One word you would say to anyone who's watched this video or this program in Mandera. And then if you also have ways people could reach out to you, like if you want to share your contacts, like an email or social media platform, please feel free to share at this time. Now just start off with Honorable Gate.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. My parting shot is this. I am requesting the national government and the county government to put into implementation the act and the policies that were put in place up to the letter, so that at least we can be empowered as women of Mandera County. And then we need those gender boards to be at the ground in Mandera County, not literally Mandera County as in Mandera town. Yep. Can they be going to as far as to Takaba or even Banisa? It's a request that we are making because we have never seen them. And those things, the policies and the act that they are putting on papers is not supposed to be gathering dust on the shelves. Can they please put it into implementation so that at least the women of Mandera County will be empowered? Thank you.
Thank you very much. How do people reach out to you?
If anybody wants to reach out to me, my number is, my email is gedi1141@yahoo.com.
All right.
My number is 07224671. 0722794671. That is my telephone number. They can call me any day, any night. I am ready to answer their phone. My email is Gedi, that is GEDI1141@hotmail.com. Thank you very much, Jeffrey.
All right, thank you very much. I was not very sure if you're comfortable sharing your phone number, but if it's so, then people reach out to you. And to you, Honorable Omuke, how do people, a parting shot and how people will actually be able to reach out to you?
I think it's better for you guys at the end of this. You can share our contacts on the screen. We have no problem with it.
All right.
Email, our numbers. I have no problem with it. I don't want to say it over here, but if it's okay, then you can.
Yeah, social media or email is okay because, I'm also looking at personal safety in this regard. All right, it's okay.
My parting shot is, as women, we've developed artistry.
All right.
We are going to keep on fighting. I know our battle hasn't started yet. We go through intimidation and blackmail and all sorts of things every day. These are even the women who are empowered. Then you can imagine the women who are not empowered. So I would tell the women, wherever they are, to vote for their fellow women at whatever capacity. Whether she's going to get the elective seat. In elections, we have winners or losers. It doesn't mean I'm not going to support this person because she's not winning. Okay? Know that we are more than the men. I'm talking to you maybe as a friend of the women. Yeah. I am sure you would be willing to vote for a woman.
I surely would be willing to vote. Yeah. All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
If we become our own force and support each other, then I think we're going to make it's the impact that we will have on the society that is at stake. And it doesn't matter whether we win or we don't win. I never look at things from the winning perspective. It's about trying.
All right.
Okay? All
right.
So, and I urge all the men out there who have goodwill for the women to support the cause of women in whichever capacity.
All right.
And there are people.
All right. There is feedback. I'm sorry.
Especially the women, to educate the girl child.
Yeah.
To ensure that the only way we are going to get out of all these problems is through education.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut to it.
Yeah.
Empowered women empower women. We always advocate for educating the girl child.
All
Not
right.
leaving behind the boy child, of course, but the level at which the boy child is educated, of course, is higher. Okay?
Yeah.
So I would urge the mothers to ensure that they educate their girls, take them to school, as well as teach them the Islamic religion, because that is now where the loophole comes. Where you're told your religion doesn't allow. Our religion is a religion of peace, and it advocates for. It actually supports women's cause more than men. Okay, so I would advise them to teach their kids so that they make informed choices and decisions on their own. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. If you're willing, maybe you could just share your social media handles if you want people to follow you up there. Maybe leave a comment.
My Twitter handle is @Umu_Kasim. Facebook page is Honorable Umulkhair Kasim, or Umu Kasim in short.
All
I
right.
have two.
All right.
Then my email is ummuypy4
All right.
@gmail.com.
All right.
My telephone number is 0728 826,000.
All right. Thank you very much. And to you, Mr. Noor, as we bring this to a close, Ahmed, we do appreciate really you joining in because it's a conversation that we also have men included in, and you've said that women should be included much more in the leadership so that they can be able to air out issues that actually affect them. A parting shot, one word that you would say basically, or leave to the people who are watching this, as you also share ways people can reach out to you.
Thank you. My last word is the government to comply with the conventions and the international and the constitution of Kenya on issues related to gender in Kenya, and the government to respect women about the leadership and their roles they are playing in bringing up a role model citizen. Because the child is supposed to be the next citizen who is supposed to be bringing up a good citizen for this country.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and we have got a program called Champions of Budget Champions at world level.
Yeah.
Where we want to have a social accountability and then citizen engagement. That will improve our accountability process, which hence we will have the chance to introduce gender projects in the budget or in our estimate budget of each financial year.
Right.
So we have got that program which we are trying to develop at the world level, and it is at the advanced stage. We are only waiting for the funding to come. And then we are asking the support of both the Honorable and Gakii to give us the support, and then look for maybe other donors or partners who can support us.
Yeah.
So that unless these people are held accountable, then there is nothing we are waiting for. As we are sitting, people are trying to loot us. So women are the worst people who are suffering and being challenged. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Just quickly share
Jeremy,
with us
Jeremy,
how people can reach out to you.
Jeremy, I want to pass one message. And this is saying this, if only, and I repeat saying this, if only we could have 2 Noors or 3 of them like Noor in Mandera County, I am telling you, women could be in a better position where we are today. We really appreciate his effort, his dad much. With us, Maendeleo, he stood with us when we had a lot of problems, and I wish we could have 4 Noors from Mandera County. Thank you very much, Noor. You stand and we appreciate you. I cannot even say thank you very much. It's not enough.
Wow. All right, Noor, just before you go, I know it's very dark on your side, but it's just a call to you. If you want people to reach out to you, how do they reach out to you? And you don't necessarily have to give out your phone number if it's not
my email is nmbr@yahoo.com. My phone is 0722-506836. Then my Facebook is Noor Ahmed, and my Twitter is
at Noor Ahmed. Twitter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate having you all.
Twitter is the same, Noor Ahmed.
All right, thank you very much. We really do appreciate having you here today. It's really amazing being able to have these conversations despite us going late. Almost at 7 p.m., so we've almost spoken for 1.5 hours, right?
That's how interactive it was.
Yes, so we really do appreciate having
1.5 hours.
Yeah, the truth is, to be honest, is with Mandera we've not been able to have lots of conversations, especially either because it's very far away from where we are broadcasting from, or for one way or another we've not been able to cross paths. But from today, we'll try as much as possible to be able to have much more conversations, because the more we talk, the more people see, the more we change minds as well.
So this COVID-19 was a blessing in disguise.
Yes, it was.
If not for COVID, we would never have this conversation, perhaps.
Yes, they could have never reached us. That's true.
You guys need to do better. Even if it's by phone, we are ready.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. We do appreciate having you, and just keep doing what you're doing. Let's keep on changing the bad things in our communities and maintaining the good things as well. From now, I'll just say kwaheri. We are way over time, but we do appreciate having you here today. Kwaheri san.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Noor. Thank you, Mishmua and Umu.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
All right. Goodbye.
Okay.
All right, so this has been the
Sorry.
NFGM live show. We were in Mandera County. If you are joining us right now, lots of conversations regarding what we are actually doing to end FGM in Kenya. And today we are talking about issues. And just as summary, we've talked about the involvement of politicians, and I think that's taken a toll and generally political goodwill in that regard. So as we speak about FGM, we have to look at it in a multifaceted way. So we just bring this to a close. We do appreciate having you here today. Remember that we'll be live tomorrow as well, and we will just be talking about which best practices really do matter in the counties that we will be at. Take care, and we will see you tomorrow.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674. Today's End FGM live show has been supported by the global media campaign to end FGM.